A very good evening to you. Welcome to Citizen Sunday Live. My name is Olive Burrows, and tonight I have plenty in store, including an interview with the Kenya Forest Service Deputy Chief Conservator. His name, Dr. Thomas Kipto, and together we interrogate where is Kenya with the 15 billion tree planting target by 2032 and how the Africa Champions of Trees Awards are expected to feed into the attainment of that target. We have lots, including from track and field, lots of stories coming up. So keep it Sunday Live. It's at O'Burrows at Citizen TV Kenya on X. You can also send us your feedback on hashtag Citizen Sunday Live. And the SMS line is 22422. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Odera is coming. Hodgkinson's beginning to tie up. And the Kenyans going to do it. What an upset. What a story.
Top of the world. Kenya dominates the World Athletics medal table to finish a stunning second just behind USA as Odera bags 800 meters gold medal. Kenya rules Berlin in marathon. Sebastian Sawe and Rosemary Wanjiru make clean sweep, winning men and women race in Berlin. Healed but detained. Plight of young mothers detained over unpaid bills at MTRH Hospital, Eldoret. Another death in police cells. Police on the spot yet again after another remandee dies in custody at Mombasa Central Police. 27 new mothers are detained at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital over unpaid bills. The women, patients, some of whom have been detained at the facility for up to 3 months, complain of inhumane treatment and congestion. The hospital, however, denies the disparaging claims of inhumane treatment of the patients in the maternity wing. With that report is Laura Otieno.
This viral video circulating on social media put the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Uasin Gishu on the spot as patients put forth allegations of mistreatment. The video, taken in a seemingly crowded maternity ward, showed mothers who are reportedly detained for failing to pay the bill. Citing allegations of mistreatment, the mothers also claimed use of foul language by some of the staff.
How old are you?
17 years. Kinaomba usaidizi tutoke hapo. Hata tukiambia hao social worker. Yaani tunaomba watu lakini watu wanatutusi. Wanatuambia mtapaki hapa.
Details shared by the women with Citizen TV show the patients were detained for between 21 days and some up to 6 months over unpaid bills. The patients claim they were being required to pay hospital bills of between 20,000 shillings and some up to 500,000 shillings. While confirming that the mothers owe the hospital the said amounts, MTRH management maintained that it has offered the best standard of care to both the mothers and their newborn babies. MTRH CEO Dr. Philip Kirwa saying that the confusion might have been caused by systemic hitches where some of the discharged patients had not been cleared due to inadequate identification.
But the main challenge, even with many of the teenagers who are not able to benefit from that package, is because they have no birth certificate or any other means of identification. So it becomes a challenge for us to clear them or making sure and pay for them. So it's either they pay cash or those who are totally not able, then our credit committee reviews them and makes recommendation accordingly.
The hospital also claims that some of the said patients have since been cleared. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
To Mombasa County now, where the police service is yet again on the spot after another remandee died in custody in mysterious circumstances at Mombasa Central Police Station. Simon Warui, who went missing in Nairobi a week ago, was found dead with the post-mortem revealing that he died of fractures on the neck. With those details is Francis Mtalaki.
Even before puzzle over the murder of Albert Ojwang in police cells is resolved, police is yet again on the spot. Another remandee, Simon Warui, was found dead in police custody, with autopsy showing he died from lack of oxygen, with the body having fractures on his neck, broken hand. According to the family, Warui was reported missing from Nairobi's Umoja 1 estate last Sunday, with his disappearance reported at Kamukunji police station. 3 days later, the wife claims they received a phone call from a child security guard along Nkrumah Road who notified her that Warui was booked at Central Police Station in Mombasa.
Alikuwa amepatikana pale Kadrek, akachukuliwa na soja. Soja akamchukua, akampeleka police station, Central Police Station, Mombasa.
They got here around 1 a.m. on Thursday morning. They went to police station. They requested to see him. They were not given access to see him.
The following morning, they went back to the station and a team of DCI officers took them to the washroom, where police claimed the late Simon was found lying and blood oozing from the nose. The puzzling death has raised more questions than answers. A post-mortem conducted at the Coast General Hospital reveals that Warui died due to lack of oxygen, with visible injuries on his neck, hands and blackened fingers.
DCI wakatuchukua, wakatupeleka pale Central Police, na kufika pale tukaonyeshwa ambavyo Simon hatuna ushuhuda ya kwamba hatujui, hakuna mtu anajua ama ni alijiua ama ni kuuliwa.
For what crime was he at Central Police Station? Where were the officers on duty when Simon Warui passed away?
The family is now demanding answers and arrest of those behind his death. Francis Mtalaki, Citizen TV, Mombasa.
To Machakos County now, a family in Kisii is seeking justice after their 20-year-old son, a first-year student at Lukenya University, died in a swimming pool under unclear circumstances. 20-year-old Maxwell Ombui is said to have drowned after joining friends for his birthday celebrations at Savo Inn Hotel. With those details is Crispin Otieno.
Savo Inn Hotel swimming pool site is a crime scene. This after police cordoned off the pool to investigate the death of a 20-year-old Ben Maxwell Ombui, a university student in Lukenya, who drowned while celebrating his 20th birthday. Behind this yellow tape at the hotel's pool lies answers as to what could have killed Ombui, with the family questioning why the hotel management allegedly tampered with the scene before police arrival.
Kijana alikuja akalipia services za kuswim na kukula chakula kutumia simu yake, ambapo alikuja na marafiki zake. Mwenye hoteli ya kustaajabisha hakuita polisi wakuje kuchukua mwili peke yao. Akachukua gari lake la kibinafsi, akaweka mwili ndani, akaleta mpaka hiyo hospitali. Kufikisha mwili katika hiyo hospitali, akaambiwa kwamba mumelete maiti.
The family now wants the management to provide them with CCTV footage to clear doubts on possible cover-ups.
Tunaomba waziri wetu wa interior, ambapo tunaona akizunguka akifanya jukwaa la usalama. Je, bwana Kipchumba, tutapata usalama vipi kama kijana wa university ya Lukenya amekufa katika hoteli la kifahari na hakuna mtu ameshikwa sasa hivi?
Back in the village at Omusaria, the family members are still coming to terms with the death. The late Maxwell, who was a first-year student pursuing bachelor degree in education at Lukenya University, was the only son in his family. His death has literally shattered their dreams.
We really don't know what happened in that hotel. In the management, they have not communicated anything.
Sisi kama wasasi tunalia. Huyu mtoto tulikuwa tunampenda because he is a begotten son, ni mtoto mpole.
So our question is, why weren't there lifeguards to save him? You know, what we really need is justice for our brother.
Autopsy results showed he choked to death on the fateful day, but the circumstances leading to his death are yet to be explained. The hotel told Citizen TV that the drowning was accidental, but that it will cooperate with the investigators. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
Mtitwande in Makueni County there. On to matters education, and with only 30 days to the national exams, preparations are in top gear ahead of grade 9 transition to secondary school. Education Ministry says it is working out modalities to ensure that it spreads the 1.2 million learners in grade 9 to all the 9,500 secondary schools in the country. The learners' placement will be based on their career pathways and their performance in the assessment next month. The transition could, however, run into challenges should the government fail to clear 3 billion shillings debt owed to publishers. This will allow them print catalogues of grade 10 textbooks.
In just 5 weeks, over 1 million grade 9 learners will take the first national junior assessment that will determine which senior school they will be placed in according to their career pathway choice. The government says the senior schools are ready for the learners.
One thing I want to tell you is that right now we have 2.4 million spaces in senior school, and we have 1.2 million learners. So we have enough capacity in our senior school for transition. And our plan is to transition 100%.
Already, the learners have made their preliminary choice of senior school based on the continuous assessments, an exercise that has exposed the bottlenecks government will have to contend with once the results of the national assessments are out in 2 months.
Some of the schools have so many students selecting them, which is not possible to absorb them. So we're trying to plan for this transition. And as you are aware, we removed the idea of national schools, extra county schools, and day schools in terms of that category. What we have now is what we call cluster 1 schools, cluster 2 schools, cluster 3 schools.
Beyond the placement and admission in senior schools, the issue of learning materials is also of concern for education stakeholders. The academic landscape will be expanded in grade 10, and so will the demands for books.
The learning areas are more than 35 learning areas, and those learning areas must be taken care of because we must take care of every desire of the Kenyan child. We have the capacity to supply all those learning areas, the capacity to supply all the copies needed in the country.
This huge undertaking will cost the government upwards of 5 billion shillings. This against a debt of 3 billion shillings that the government still owes publishers for the books supplied from last year for grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9.
And we are saying that we are optimistic that this payment will be settled in time to enable us supply books for grade 10 in a seamless way so that come January 2026, all schools in Kenya will have books for grade 10.
At the same time, the publishers have urged the government to scrap the 16% VAT charged on books as a way of making books and by extension education accessible to all. The industry is also still fighting cases of piracy of books in the industry that they say ends up costing them 250 million shillings in losses annually. Aside from the CBE transition matters, the publishers will be inducting the late Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o into the Kenya Publishers Association Hall of Fame posthumously during the 26th Nairobi International Book Fair this week. Ngugi will be recognized for his significant contribution to Kenya literature and education.
Nairobi International Book Fair.
Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
For some politics now, and leaders from the united opposition are now demanding an urgent probe into 295 unclaimed bodies lying at the city mortuary in Nairobi. The bodies are set for disposal by the county government of Nairobi. The leaders allege that most of the bodies could be those of victims killed during anti-government protests in 2024 and 2025. They also say they have declined advances to join the broad-based government and are currently calling the compensation efforts inadequate. Melito Letenges with more.
Pressure is mounting on the Nairobi County government as leaders from the united opposition demand an immediate halt to the planned disposal of 295 unclaimed bodies at the city mortuary. The leaders are calling for a full and independent investigation, alleging that some of the deceased may have been victims of police brutality during the deadly anti-government protests.
Viongozi wetu wasifikiri sisi ni wajinga ama namna gani wananchi. Hawa watu walikufa, they fell from the skies and died. Labda hawa ni watoto wetu waliuawa wakati ule we had this it. Watu wasifikiri eti watu ni wajinga.
A 7-day notice issued by the Nairobi County government for families to collect the bodies earlier this month has expired with no claims made. The bodies are now set to be disposed of.
Alafu sasa tunataka kuanza kufanya abracadabra na maisha ya binadamu. Tuache hii sarakasi. Let us be serious people. This is a serious country. Najua wakati mwingine watu wengine wananiambia we Fred huo unacheka wakati mwingine. Nasema no, the business of managing the country is serious. Hakuna wakati wa kucheka.
The leaders also expressed dissatisfaction with the government's compensation process for victims, which is currently on hold. The High Court issued conservatory orders following a petition challenging the legality and duplication of roles within the compensation committee.
Kusema nitakuua kisha baadaye nikulipe 200,000, hiyo ni upuzi na kuharibu nia za wazalendo, haki ambazo zimekabiliwa katiba iliyotupatia Mheshimiwa Kibaki.
The leaders also revealed that despite ongoing political overtures and their past political ties with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in the Azimio coalition, they have rejected invitations to join the broad-based government.
Now, when my friend talks about a broad-based government, we've been invited to it, and we said no. Let them deal with the massacre in Githurai Kwanza. We are all Kenyans. We are not averse to sitting together and to make this country better.
The leaders were speaking in Kajiado County, where they attended a church service at the Tent Revival Church. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
President William Ruto has arrived in New York, United States, to attend the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. A dispatch from the office of the State House spokesperson indicates that the head of state will at the 80th UNGA reaffirm Kenya's commitment to reforms of the global financial system and call for fair access to development financing. President Ruto is also expected to push for reforms of the United Nations to make it more inclusive and to address global peace and security challenges, including enhancing efforts in Sudan, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Somalia, and Haiti. With Kenya being part of the multinational security support mission in Haiti, President Ruto will host a high-level side event on Haiti to share lessons learned since deployment of troops under the MSS mission, which aims to inform the next steps in global security efforts. He will also convene deliberations to consolidate Africa's position and rally leaders ahead of COP30 in Belém, Brazil. We take a break on Citizen Sunday Live, but don't forget we get into matters trees with the Kenya Forest Service Deputy Chief Conservator Dr. Thomas Kipto. Keep it Sunday Live. Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Sunday Live, and Mashirima Kapombe takes us now to Homa Bay County. For 114 days, Homa Bay County maintained a clean streak with 0 maternal and neonatal deaths. But the death of a mother after ingesting herbal concoctions has reset the count, highlighting how deeply rooted cultural practices continue to threaten maternal health. County health officials, including community health promoters, are now working hand in hand with traditional birth attendants, turning them into ambassadors to encourage antenatal clinic attendance and deliveries in health facilities. With more, as I said, is Mashirima Kapombe.
Early morning at a village in Homa Bay County. Mama Gladys Apetha's home is abuzz with activity. Gladys is a traditional birth attendant, her reputation well known far and wide. She examines each. The women trust her.
Personally, saizi tu vile nimeguza, I already feel different from how I came. Kinipea hiyo dawa yenyewe anatupea na apata nafuu.
The 71-year-old grandmother is a beloved figure here. One of several traditional birth attendants now working with community health promoters to ensure expectant mothers complete all 8 antenatal visits throughout their pregnancy.
Koro gibiro kaka gibiro ni to nyaka ng'eno dhi hospital, clinic nyaka ng'eno dhi, be yande manyo pod nya tek nya tero gi nyaka hospital. Kubiro kamucho buketa wuok kode nyaka St. Paul.
Obembi Ogutu, a community health promoter since 2011, says collaborating with traditional birth attendants is crucial in reaching expectant mothers who would otherwise miss out on essential maternal care.
Within our culture, within the law setup system, these mothers are valued, the TBAs. We have come to realize that they cannot stop coming to the mama. So if you want to insist of going to the clinics and not coming to the TBAs, then it's like they can tell you, afadhali, they leave the clinic, but they must be here.
At Makongeni Sub-County Hospital, the growing queues of expectant mothers tell a story of progress. The notice boards paint a picture of hope.
Side, they are going for 8 clinic visits. And so as we make follow-ups, we also make sure they also go for the clinics.
For 114 days since mid-May, not a single mother in Homa Bay County died while giving birth. But that record was broken in the first week of September.
We had one case about 5 days ago, last week, and this was a case where we had a mother who had herbal intoxication at home, and by the time she came here, it was a bit late that we could not save.
Mama Gladys also administers herbal remedies to the women who come to her. We ask her if she realizes these herbs could put their lives at risk.
Yedegi, adieri mango, yatnitie kakamiyo mapek, ngino chalo nyathi mathin. Koro en nyaki thiedhegi yath mana mayot mowinjore. Yath amiye kiwango. Ani yadh ok madh jag, iwinjo? Ani yadha ka en mar muoch, to en mana gima thin kama. Onge gima odhi timo kata.
The women trust Mama Gladys. Her word is final. We ask them if they tell health workers at the clinic that they are also taking herbal medication.
Hawajaniuliza.
The MPDSR count has now started afresh. In the last 2 weeks, no maternal or neonatal deaths have been reported. Homa Bay County is among those implementing the maternal and perinatal death surveillance and response known as MPDSR to prevent such deaths and guide action when complications occur.
Every Tuesday from 7 a.m. we usually meet online. So there is where even if we had a case, for instance, of a mother who nearly lost her life or a child who died or nearly died, we discuss, we identify gaps in the management, right from the referral, if at all it was a referral case, we discuss what happened during that particular time, the interventions which we had, were there any gaps? If at all there are gaps, we there and then we tackle it there, we discuss so that the subsequent one should never ever happen.
Through MPDSR, the county governments have aligned and are effecting changes for the benefit of mothers.
And it has really helped. That is what actually pushed us for the first time to reach even 114 days as a county without any maternal death. This is one county some years back or even months back. This is one county where we had a minimum of 6 deaths sometimes, even in a week.
Despite this, challenges still abound for women who do not have the funds to register for the social health insurance. Berry Lakinyi is among those who attend her antenatal clinics, but whenever an issue that requires money arises, she would rather have Mama Gladys handle it.
Nikaenda ultrasound. Nikaambiwa mtoto amekaa vibaya. So kuna nini? Kuna kliniki yenye nilikuwa nafaa kufanyiwa. Na sikuenda. Juu kuna pesa yenye walikuwa wanataka. Niliambiwa nitoe 1,000 ama nikate SHA 6,000. Alafu nifanyiwe hiyo. Na sikuwa ready. Nikawaambia nitarudi. So nilidecide tu nikuje huku at least. Aniguze kama amelala vibaya arudi kwa position yake.
Despite that, the maternity hospital is full to capacity. Beryl Adhiambo is 22 years old. This is her first baby.
I had a prolonged labor that made me to be referred here at Homa Bay referral. The way I was exhausted, now I couldn't able to give birth through vaginal delivery, and that made them to refer me to theater.
John Anyanga is happy to go home with his wife Beryl and their third-born child. Both mother and baby are healthy. A picture-perfect family that the county hopes to achieve for all mothers here. Mama Gladys too hopes that her guidance will lead those who come to her back to hospital, where each one will have a safe delivery and go home with their newborns. Mashirima Kapombe, Citizen TV.
Leaders in the broad-based government are now poking holes in the opposition's blueprint, stating that beyond criticizing government initiatives, the united opposition has yet to match, let alone surpass, President William Ruto's development plan. Speaking at separate events in Uasin Gishu and Nyamira, the leaders described the opposition as a coalition of, quote, directionless politicians out to mislead the public for personal political gain. Melita Oletenges with more.
A formidable front of President Ruto's political lieutenants has been countering opposition inroads at the grassroots level for months and perceived discontent against the government. At a church fundraiser in Tapsagoi, Uasin Gishu, the president's aide Farouk Kibet launched a fresh attack on the opposition, criticizing its agenda and motives. He claimed that the coalition is driven more by personal interests than by any real concern for Kenyans.
Ni kwa nini watu ya upinzani hawana agenda ya Wakenya? Agenda yao kubwa sana katika taifa la Kenya ni uchochezi, mlima, mteremko, pakafu. Sisi tunawaambia inchi lazima iende mbele ikiwa na umoja ya Wakenya.
The leaders further accused the opposition of promoting regional fragmentation and pushing a divisive political narrative, while insisting that the coalition is no match for President Ruto's better plan.
Nyinyi ni wa kabila ama wa Kenya? Mnapenda amani ama fujo? Wale hawana agenda. Wanasema Kasongo must go. Nyinyi mnajua Kasongo ni nani? Sisi hatujui. Si mnajua William Ruto ndio president? Hii Kasongo wanasemanga ni nani? Wanasema must go. Iko kitu imeandikwa kwa kanisa must go. Yaani wangesema Ruto must go forward.
Elsewhere in Nyamira, Education CS Migos Ogamba and Solicitor General Shadrack Mose urged the Abagusi community to disregard former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i's presidential ambitions.
You must not take our people to the wrong direction. We will not accept it. And we will fight to the last man to ensure that our people remain in government. Saisi tutafanya kama ni mchezo tu. Lakini hapa mbele, wakati kila sehemu ya Kenya imesimama imara, sisi utapata tuko wapi, tumejitenga namna gani?
The leaders were speaking at a fundraiser at Nyasabakwa Catholic Parish in Nyamira County. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
Tonight, a family in Syokimau, Machakos County, is demanding answers after their 11-year-old child drowned and died during a swimming gala at Syokimau Blessed Assurance Academy. As you'll hear now from Franklin Wala, the family of Jael Nabalayo says they are yet to come to terms with the tragic news. They're begging authorities to hasten the investigation process and provide answers on the circumstances of the drowning.
A cloud of sorrow and agony hangs over the home of Zachariah Nabalayo in Syokimau, Machakos County. This family has been thrown into mourning after a tragedy hit them in the most painful way. Their 11-year-old child and their last-born, Jael Nabalayo, who was a pupil at Blessed Assurance Academy in Syokimau, drowned while at the school's swimming pool on the 11th of September and died.
They had a swimming gala training, and during that incident, our kid was found in the swimming pool after having stayed there for about 1 minute and 5 seconds. And when they tried to resuscitate her, she was not responding.
CCTV footage captured the moment of the drowning incident. As per the footage, a lifeguard on duty found unresponsive Jael lying in the swimming pool. He quickly responded and tried to rescue her from underneath the waters. They quickly rushed her to a nearby clinic and thereafter transferred her to Veteran Mission Hospital, where she was pronounced dead on arrival.
When we arrived, we found our kid lifeless. That's a short, sad story that we have to say about this incident that occurred. We have lost our lovely daughter, and we are really heartbroken with this particular incident.
A sudden death has dealt the family a big blow. The family says for now they are planning to bury their daughter on the 27th of September in Kitale. After the burial, they will start a process to seek answers from the management of the school on what really transpired before their child died.
What I can say is that as a family we've lost, and we are just waiting to see that we get to understand how this happened, and that will give us a reprieve as a family, because it's so painful. It's so painful for us to lose a kid in such an instant.
Jael was a grade 6 pupil at Syokimau Blessed Assurance Academy, and the swimming practice was being held at Blessed Assurance Academy Junior School, which is under the same management. A legal representative from the school, identified as Godfrey Odongo, who spoke to us but declined to give us an interview, says the incident was regrettable and an unfortunate one. He, however, noted the school was cooperating with the authorities, among them homicide investigators, to establish the cause of her deaths. An autopsy, however, revealed Jael died as a result of drowning. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
Our condolences go out to the family. Hundreds of Kenyans staged a procession to express their outrage over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Motorbike riders and drivers joined the convoy to show solidarity with Palestinians, condemning the continued killing of Palestinian civilians by Israel. The protest comes as leaders converge on the UN General Assembly in New York, where the conflict is expected to be a topic of discussion. As world leaders meet at the United Nations General Assembly, the outrage over the humanitarian situation in Gaza continues to mount. With protests on the streets of Nairobi to rally the world to action against the crisis. Motorbike riders and drivers painted the capital with Palestinian flags, calling for an end to the 2-year war in the Palestinian-occupied Gaza. The message from human rights activists and Kenyans here was loud and clear.
Today is not a religious concern. It is not even a concern for the people of Palestine alone. It is a concern for the entire planet. We say that all citizens across the world must be engaged in this cause. This is the single cause of our generation.
We are here to show our solidarity for Palestine. It is not okay for children to be bombed. This is the most documented genocide ever.
Converging at the historic Uhuru Park, hundreds of demonstrators condemned what they termed as continued humanitarian violations by Israel.
For the last almost 2 years, with hundreds of, thousands of people have been killed and people being stabbed to death, I think it pricks the conscience of humanity that anyone with a bit of humanity in his soul should be able to express, solidarity with the people of Gaza. So
we are witnessing today, the whole world is standing in solidarity out of the position of humanity for the suffering people of Palestine.
The protest comes even as more countries come out to support a two-state solution, with Canada, Australia and the United Kingdom being the latest to formally recognize Palestinian statehood. All right, on that note, we take a break on Citizen Sunday Live. But on the other side, I will be joined by the Deputy Chief Conservator of Forests, Kenya Forest Service, his name, Dr. Thomas Kipto, and we look at where we are in the 15 billion tree planting target by 2032, a tall order. And then he'll explain what the Africa Champions, the ACT Awards, the Africa Champions of Trees Awards are all about and how they will impact said target. So do stay tuned. The hashtag is Citizen Sunday Live. The X handles are at Obarus at Citizen TV Kenya, and the SMS line is 22422. Coming up on Citizen Planet, we host Kenya Forest Service on the country's journey to attaining 15 billion tree planting target by 2032. All right, thank you for staying with us on Citizen Sunday Live. I am joined by Dr. Thomas Kipto. He is the Deputy Chief Conservator of Forests, Kenya Forest Service. Karibu sana kwenye studio Citizen. So 15 billion trees to be planted by 2032. That sounds like quite the ambitious target. Where are we on that journey?
Yeah, thank you, Olive. And by extension, Kenya Forest Service for this opportunity. 15 billion trees is not a small number. It's an ambitious program. And since the initiative was launched by His President, His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, there are a number of measures that has been initiated so far. One is the development of national landscape and ecosystem restoration strategy for 2023 up to 2032, with a key intervention areas, 11 intervention areas, where we have dryland areas. We need to plan or to restore those areas. We have natural forest areas. We also have targets for ministries, departments, agencies. We have also mapped out areas for bamboo. We have also mapped out areas for agroforestry, planting on farms, and even where we have our infrastructure in towns, green spaces. So that is one initiative or strategies that has been initiated. Second, we have committed this 15 billion to every 100 initiative, 2030 year plan that it will be completed by the year 2030. So we have committed that strategy or that initiative of the 15 billion into that initiative of every 100. Thirdly, we have also conducted some sensitization programs across the country, which is still ongoing even to date, so that Kenyans can take up the tree growth as a culture. Fourth, we have also developed agroforestry strategy for 2025-2030 that allows for tree growing on farms, agroforestry trees on farms. About 3 million hectares will be covered so that we achieve the 15 billion program. So far, since that program or initiative was launched, we have done about 900 million trees. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what have been the challenges?
We have experienced maybe weather patterns. Mm-hmm. It is very unpredictable. So it has all that tree planting program. Sometimes there are rains that we realize enough moisture build up. So it has really all that program, and that is the main challenge.
So the main challenge is weather patterns?
Yes, weather patterns. At some point also, as Kenya Forest Service, we are still developing our infrastructure for nurseries, because we intended to plant 1.5 billion seedlings annually. So currently we are developing our nursery infrastructure to raise the seedlings.
Okay. So weather patterns have hampered these efforts, and it's interesting because I'm assuming these trees are intended to address or to mitigate the climate change patterns. Is this a figure, the 15 billion, was it just a figure plucked out of thin air, or what was the thinking behind it?
No, the thinking behind it is a noble idea, because His Excellency wanted to ensure that we have a nation for our children that is greener, healthier, and climate resilient nation. That was the intention in future.
Tell me a little bit about this sensitization efforts, because initially there were a few public holidays, I can't remember if there were 2 or something, encouraging people to come out and plant trees. I assume maybe mobilizing schools or encouraging school-going children to take part and public office civil servants to take part is not so difficult. It can be done. But how have you sensitized the general public, the greater public, to view this exercise with the importance?
Thank you for that question. It's a good question. We have used various initiatives as well. Platforms like media. We have events like running for climate action. We also like sports. We conduct plantings, like ceremonial plantings, where even His Excellency the President is leading when he is doing some ceremonial tree planting wherever he visits. So that is one area that we see is an area that we sensitize the members of the public.
Okay, tell us a little bit about these ACT awards and how they feed into this 15 billion tree planting target.
It fits very well into this program because, remember, 15 billion is not just a small number. And again, Kenya committed 5.1 million hectares of degraded land to be restored by the year 2030 through Bond Challenge. So this is not, again, just a small number. So these ACT awards is to recognize Kenyans who have devoted their resources, their time, and the energy to make sure that the 15 billion trees are grown, to make sure, again, the 5.1 million hectares are restored in our country. So the outstanding Kenyans, either an individual, either a group, a community group, a corporate, government agency, county governments, and even lifetime awards, is including even a special award for a media house like this is also recognized.
Or thank you. So are these awards open to, because they're called the Africa Champion of Trees Awards, right? So are they open continent-wide, or is this strictly a Kenyan affair?
No, we have a plan of doing it further, maybe in future. Yes, it will go further to cover the whole of Africa. Yes. Okay. So do people apply? Are they nominated? How is it going to be carried out? Not the application. We are in the process of receiving applications at the moment. And then there is a vetting committee who will be seeing, because there are conditions set for the requirements set for this award. So there is a committee which will be vetting, and then we will finally come with the winner. Okay, and there's a cash prize at the end? Yes, there is a cash prize at the end, 5 million prize. Okay, yes. And is that now supposed to be invested further into tree planting exercises, or? Definitely it should, because if you have gone into a tree venture program, you must again invest back to the tree planting. Oh, okay. Yes. All right, so tell us, why should we take this with the weight it deserves? Yeah, we must take it into the weight it deserves, because it aligns very well with the mandate of Kenya Forest Service of conserving and even managing our forests. It, again, builds that confidence. It builds the confidence and sense of collaboration that we are together in this program.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, but I mean the weight of the importance of planting trees. Why should Kenyans, are we facing an existential crisis? What is at risk if we don't take action now?
Yeah, if we don't take action at the moment, we are at risk because water, for example, is a precious resource. We will have lost our rivers, our springs, which emanates from these forests, and we will be vulnerable to maybe food insecurity. That is one. Two, we have an ecotourism which entirely relies on forests. We call it green economy. So if we don't again conserve or plant these trees, we will again be at risk to loss, which we cannot afford. Secondly, there is a carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. So it will be again a problem if we cannot take an initiative of growing these trees. Again, the stability of our soil. If we allow these trees, maybe we don't grow, we will have that risk of even having soil erosion, and it will be again a challenge of food. We will be insecure in terms of food. And then finally, forest is a home of biodiversity. You find that if trees are not available, we will be losing very precious animals in our forests, which even attracts tourists.
Okay, so have you involved, like, for example, the private sector? I'm assuming you've gotten into some partnerships, like, for example, the ACT Awards. Do you have partners for that?
Yes, we have so many partners. It's one of the initiatives that we have. We have a Adopt a Forest program where we sign frameworks with Kenyans who are conservation partners, and they are assisting us a lot restore these degraded sites.
All right. So if I'm listening, somebody is listening right now, wherever they are,
yes,
and you have convinced them that they must go out and plant a tree, how do they know where to get the seedling, where to plant the seedling? Who takes care of it?
Yes, Kenyans who are listening and they want to know where to get planting materials, high-quality planting seedlings, we have an elaborate infrastructure in all over the 47 counties. We have our forest, sub-county forest officers, we have our county forest officers, and anywhere where we have our county forest officer or sub-county forest officer, we have a tree nursery where they can get the seedlings for the right place, because we have what we call species site matching. High quality seedlings, high value seedlings, depending on a particular site. So we have our officers to guide our farmers or anybody who has that interest of growing tree.
The agroforestry.
Yes.
All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Kipto, for shedding light on the tree planting target, as well as the ACT Awards. Where can they go for more information on that?
Yeah, I only want to call upon Kenyans that we have an upcoming Mazingira Day, which will be celebrated on 10th October. We want to hit a target of 1 billion trees by that time. So let's grow trees for our environment and our own well-being. Yes.
All right. And more information on the ACT Awards, where can they go? They can just Google it and they'll get their website.
For the ACT Awards, you can visit the ACT Award website. You can access all the necessary information that is required. You can look at your category and you apply. It is open to all Kenyans who have taken that initiative of tree growing exercise in our country.
All right. And if you watch Citizen TV, you continue watching Citizen TV, you'll get that information as well. That's it. Dr. Kipto, thank you for speaking to us on matters trees. We take a break, but Citizen Sunday Live continues on the other side. Coming up, Gor Mahia in hot soup after Bidco dishes out surprise season defeat in Kenya Premier League opener. More in sports news up next. All right, Citizen Sunday Live continues with the sports, and Kenya's Premier League side, Nairobi United, kicked off their continental adventure with a 2-2 draw against NEC FC at Hams Stadium, Nakivubo, Uganda, in the first leg of the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round. A long throw in from Dan Olwoch wasn't cleared, and Enoch Machaka reacted quickest to poke home the opener. In the 78th minute, Rothomio powered in a header to level matters at 1-1. Paul Mukerezi stepped up to convert the penalty, sending the home fans into raptures as NEC took a 2-1 lead, but Nairobi United slotted in an equalizer, securing a dramatic 2-2 draw.
Game imekuwa mzuri, tumejisukuma vizuri. NEC team pia imetusukuma vizuri. Wamecheza na half karibu 3, first 15, last 15 na second half, first 15 in the second half. Wametusukuma vizuri, wameka sub zao pia vizuri second half, na pia timu yetu nafikiri the technical bench walisoma hiyo mambo ya NEC vile walifanya na ikatupatia matokeo yetu ya kupata 2-2, which is better kucheza away kupata 2-2.
The game was not bad, although we committed some silly mistakes, because when you look at all the goals we have considered, it is like an own goal, because it is us who have not done enough in our defending. When you look at the first goal, we heard that he was marking, although he didn't operate the way he didn't apply the principle of the defending when the balls are on the other side. Then look at the second game, the second goal, you saw how the goalkeeper didn't come and punch the ball.
Shabana AFC produced a thrilling start to the 2025-26 Kenyan Premier League season, running out 4-2 winners over newly promoted APS Bomet at Gusii Stadium. At Kasarani Stadium, Gor Mahia were left stunned as Bidco United ground out a 1-0 win. Newton Ocheng emerged as the hero, firing home in the 89th minute to inflict a heartbreaking defeat on the Green Army and spoil the home fans' opening match. Ulinzi Stars also started with all 3 points, edging Murang'a Seal 1-0 at the Murang'a Stadium, thanks to a solid team performance that shut out the home side. Mathare United and Posta Rangers will close the opening round on Monday in what promises to be a hard-fought clash.
Wanaendeleza walichokifanya msimu uliopita. Alimchapa Kogalo nyumbani na hilo huenda ikawa amemchapa tena.
First of all, in the first half, there was no mobility up front. Chris was doing well, but he couldn't move as we wanted, and so we thought it wise to put Edukwa in attack, and then Musa, who came in and did very, very well. However, we were also able to create chances, but unfortunately, we couldn't score. So there's no point for us. I mean, we have to focus on the next coming game, so that we have to win. We have to get back on track, and that would do a good something good for us.
Nadhani imekuwa game ngumu. I think Kogalo hata ndio imekuwa na upper chance kushinda game, because tactically I think walikuwa na tulema in terms of attacking. But again, sit tulikuwa away, so ours was to kae back, to sit back kidogo, tuone kama tunaweza kupata na quick breaks, na ime happen. Of course subs pia zimekuwa superb na tumepata.
All right, time to get your feedback on the stories and the interview you just had on Citizen Sunday Live. We begin with, who is this, Babu Michael? A case at MTRH and another at Homa Bay referral shows two worlds apart as matters handling maternal health is concerned. This clearly shows that a success of a specific county will depend on the specific county's administration performance. This is Engineer Lazaro, who says restoration of our forest cover should be an inclusive approach. Planting trees is a culture which is supposed to be nurtured in schools and learning institutions. This is Katebes K. Congratulations, Team Kenya in Tokyo, finishing second ahead of several first world opponents is no mean feat. We only need to investigate the dismal performance of the men's team. Hongera. This is Okelo Mwalimu. Today I choose to celebrate our gallant athletes who have made us proud in Tokyo and Berlin. Kudos for their heroics, which have brought honor and pride to our motherland. We are extremely honored to have such patriots, Mr. President William Ruto. Cheza kama wewe. All right, and that's it for Citizen Sunday Live. I've been your host, Olive Burrows. A sign language interpreter has been Yulan Zale. I hope your week has gotten off to a great start.